Welcome back to the Other Football Show here on Extra Sports 1300. Ryan Kaufman with you. After Bayern's midweek destruction of Arsenal, coupled with Barcelona's collapse against PSG, many people are handing the Champions League crown to the Bavarian Giants. Joining us now to talk about Bayern Munich both domestically and abroad is someone who spent 4 years with the club, including the championship-winning season of 1996 and 1997. Frank Gerster joins us now. Frank, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
So after the way Champions League played out midweek, a lot of people are talking about how Carlo Ancelotti will be able to bring something to Bayern that Pep Guardiola never could, and that's a Champions League crown. What is it about Ancelotti that has Bayern in this position where maybe Pep Guardiola never could get this team to a Champions League crown?
Yeah, they're completely different characters, and Guardiola, his style is always under pressure, always attack, and yes, he's completely different than Ancelotti. Ancelotti is much cooler. He's saying to the team, play sometimes defense, and all his energy, take your energy for the important minutes in the game, and I think, both are completely different, and I prefer more Ancelotti, and you will see they win the championship.
At this point, who do you see as Bayern Munich's biggest challenger to a Champions League title?
Yeah, the biggest, Barca, I think they have a big chance to come to the next, because they have the offense line. You must look in Europe. It was Messi and Neymar and Suarez. So it's everything or nothing against PSV. And the most thing is by Bayern Munich, if they lose the key player Lewandowski, Vidal, and Robben, they had the last years problems with the key players, and they was always injured in the last 5 months. And I think Ancelotti make it better, because he don't want that they see 100% in all games against the little clubs, and he's not under pressure all the time. And I think the transportation does better than Guardiola, and I think Bayern has a big chance this year to win the championship.
Former Bayern Munich player Frank Gerster joining us here on the Other Football Show. So talking about your former club domestically, after RB Leipzig stumbled last weekend, Munich now 7 points clear at the top of the Bundesliga table. Did Leipzig just concede the league to Bayern with that loss?
It's a very young team. They make a big job, Leipzig, and the first year in the Bundesliga, and I don't see at the moment Bayern Munich has more experience in the team, and it's not a danger this year for Bayern. But for the future, I think Leipzig, they belong. They have the future, and on this side, at the moment it's Bayern Munich in front, and make a big job, Leipzig. Not only a lot of clubs in Europe have big money, and but they make not so good job like Leipzig. And I think we will hear about a lot of Leipzig the next year.
We see this past summer a player like Mario Götze, as talented as he is, not really being able to cut it at Bayern Munich, not really being a fit there. So he goes back to Dortmund. As somebody who spent time with Bayern Munich, what is unique about playing for that club that maybe even some of the most talented players in the world aren't really a good fit?
Yeah, it's absolutely big will to win. That is, I think, one of the special people, special boys who playing for Bayern Munich, high talent to win the trophies. And I was always saying you need a natural arrogance, mentality, and high character. And Mario Götze, I know him from Dortmund, and I saw him in younger teams, and he had always problems with his injuries. He played in the younger years not so often times, and yeah, maybe what I always say, if a while he has big problems here in Germany, maybe he should change the country. I think his style is more Italy, more Spain, and he has so big talent and nice technical player, but he has problems with his athletic and at the moment with a lot of injury problems, and it's not so nice for a player, and bad time for him at the moment.
A lot of people over here in the United States know Jurgen Klinsmann, the manager, the now former manager of the U.S. men's national team. You had a chance, though, to play with Jurgen Klinsmann for a couple of seasons with Bayern Munich. So tell us a little bit about what Jurgen was like as a player.
Yeah, Jurgen Klinsmann was a completely professional, and he had a big experience. He came from Tottenham, and he played before in Italy, in Milano, and was a national player and a captain of the national team in Germany. And he was very quiet in the inside in the team. He was quiet, but on the field he was very loud and aggressive, and you can learn a lot of him. And he was nice to the young players. He helped all the time if you have questions, and this is what I learned.
And Jurgen Klinsmann was a big reason why you guys were able to capture the Bundesliga crown in 1996 and 1997. Now 20 years removed from that, what is the most indelible memory? What do you remember most about that run in 96, 97?
What we had is that he was always under pressure, and the nice thing is, of course, if you win the trophies, I can remember from the nice parties, of course, and trips all over the world, hotels, private jet, and so on. And the players was one of the best time in my life, and it was a big spectacle always in the town when we won the trophies, and that is now my completely experience. That is a new project with Justin, and I give all this knowledge to the next generation, and that is one point what we talk about later.
Yeah, let's get into that just a little bit. So now you've transitioned from playing to coaching and also helping develop the next generation of players in Germany, not just German kids, but also kids from all around the world, which we'll bring in Justin Rose in a moment to talk a little bit more about that. But how has the youth system in Germany changed from when you were going through it till now?
That's what we are doing now. It's a system for all players, international players, not just for the German players. And I saw the difference from this time. We have much more athletic at the moment. My time was not so quick on everything. The passes was not so quick, so not so fast. Everything changed in this time, the last 5 to 10 years, and a lot of performance centers are in Germany. I think 52 in a lot of clubs here, and I have a better school with the clubs. They work better together, and it's more a career plan as in my time. And so it changed a lot after Matthias Sommer. He made this everything for the German Federation, and now the last 10 years, I think, they made a good job in performance center. Now we won the World Cup, and I think Germany is a nice national team and a good level in the Bundesliga, and a good future.
I now want to bring in our friend Justin Rose of JJR Consulting and Funding One's Freedom, of course, the architect behind Colorado Cup 2016. What Justin and Frank are offering young kids, not just here in America, but all over the world, is the opportunity to have a taste of what it's like to play at the highest level of soccer in the world. So before we discuss what goes into this German soccer experience you guys are offering. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you guys came together on it?
Yeah, hey, listen, this was just a network that we both have, and we brought together by a mutual friend, a German friend of ours who also is a very good player and has a business in the Frankfurt area. And he's like, well, I know this guy named Justin who's been doing this, this, and this. And, hey, Justin, you got to meet this Frank guy because he's doing this, this, and this. And what was interesting for me, I'll speak for myself, is it was obvious that there were things that I didn't have in the program that I've been doing for the last 5 or 6 years. And I think Frank felt the same way. And so when we met and sat down and talked, it was kind of like, all right, Justin, what don't you have? And I just mentioned some things, and it was just nice to hear that he had all those and more. And then it was the same kind of question, like, Frank, obviously there's some things that I can bring to the table with what I've done that you may not know or don't have yet. And so, what was the same, this passion, this ability, the network to do the right thing for kids of all ages, and levels from all around the world. But because I'm American and from America, this is a spot where I know a lot. But you'd be surprised, Ryan, how many, kids from Thailand and China. And, it's just amazing because soccer does connect.
Frank, have you been surprised at how widespread the interest in this is? Justin spoke about Thailand, obviously America. There's a lot of other countries that are wanting to come to Germany specifically. Has that surprised you?
First, yes, a little bit, but the last years it comes more and more because the German won the World Cup and boys coming from South America, from Israel, different countries, and that was schon always my thinking before I stopped the career, to bring all nations together. And I played with players from 30 nations together, yes, that makes me happy, and to see how many boys are interested to come to Germany, and to want a chance here in Germany. This is not easy. It is high level here, and but we find solutions to come to Germany with school, with all like a career plan, what we are doing here, and it's wonderful to see how many boys are interested to come, and from China are coming. Justin said from Thailand, and from Kuwait, North Africa at the moment, players are interested to come. So it's growing, yes.
So tell me a little bit about how this is structured. How is this different than just me picking up and taking my family over to Germany?
Anyone can go to Germany or England or whatever and go into a camp and pay money and experience something and then come back to America and say, okay, wow, that was great. What this is a whole nother level. We understand that before the kids come, we give them an interview. So we understand more of who they are, what they're looking for, their skills, their weaknesses, so on and so forth. We have in this presentation here all the weeks that are possible to come out. And when you do come out, we're going to maximize that week that you're there. So with not only watching a youth academy game, which is really great, if possible, there are, of course, Bundesliga games, Ryan, as you know, and we have access to those, but we can't promise because maybe there's a time when those games aren't playing.
Right.
But what's even more interesting for these kids, and we're talking boys and girls, is the ability to watch their age group at a youth academy like Eintracht or Mainz or Darmstadt or FSV Frankfurt. And that's really like, hey, that's my age, and that's what I want to be. And it's really about throughout the week and all the services we offer this player to show him or her what's possible. If you can train here for 2 or 3 days and you're better than this, then we have the ability to move this person up to different levels, right? Which a lot of people just come out, do a camp and leave. No, we are looking at this person as a prospect of going back to America or wherever the country, talking to their parents and saying, hey, I want to come out there for a year, 2 or 3 years. I want to be a professional soccer player, or I want to enjoy the culture. I want to learn the language. I want to go to school. And for that, one thing that Ryan and I are really good at, especially Ryan, is giving these people, these kids, a chance to get an international school spot, which is not easy, but we have that. And of course, let's not forget the player pass. A lot of players have to come home because they can't get a player pass. So they can practice within 3 months, but they can't play games. Well, and a good first step for many players is just to be there, and then you can be seen. It's not so likely, as we talked about before the show, Ryan, that you're going to automatically go from America to Dortmund Youth Academy and then be a star like we see on the Dortmund team right now.
Right.
I mean, good for him. It's possible. It's nice to see more kids doing that. But let's face it, there's a lot of other ways of achieving that, and we want to offer that for these kids.
And you guys aren't just driving people up to a training ground and saying, watch. The clubs are embracing what you're doing. They look at it as a value from their standpoint, so they're working with you on this.
And that's the beauty of Frank's career and Frank as a person, and of course what I've done in Germany the last years. We've built that trust with the coaches and the teams. We have those connections, and you can't just have that by showing up and saying, here I am. Because when we put a kid on a team for practice, that's taking a spot away from somebody else, right? So we have that trust with these coaches. And of course, because we've both played the game, Frank at higher levels, we can see right away where this kid should go. Is this his level? Does he need to go to a lower level or a higher level? And not only that, but we're able to find those teams and coaches who are going to trust us and allow these kids to play there. I mean, that's a whole nother level that people think, well, I'm just going to do this myself. Have at it. Great. But you're missing out on this, and this. We have the coaches' ears, right? So that next step, players, families may want to just come out for the week. Great. It's going to be an amazing experience. But to take it to another level, we have that ability and a network and that trust that we've built and created in Germany, and that takes a while. And that's why one thing about Frank is, if I had those connections, which I do, he has them times, 5 or 10. I mean, it's just awesome to see how respected he is in Germany from ex-star players, coaches. He also coached. I don't know if you guys talked about that, but so this is exactly what's needed for a family to feel good about. Well, this is an investment, absolutely, and it could be a heck of a lot more. But we understand. Listen, let's get you out there. Let's show you an amazing week, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. It may be that your son or daughter is not ready for this. Oh, it's okay too. It may be, he can play for an academy right away, and we have those connections. Or it may be come back for a school year, and we're going to set you up in a great school. We have our staff that's going to look after the kid while he's here, us as well. And then we have a team to play for, learn German, and then be his personal coach while he's there away from his folks.
Okay, so I come over, and we have this amazing German soccer experience, and I say, yeah, I think my son is up for this. So then what happens?
For everyone to be on the same page and understand the commitment from not only us, not only from the players, but from the family, it truly is a decision made by all, knowing that the person coming over, the kid playing, he or she's the one that really ultimately decides how this goes. He or she's going to be surrounded by Frank, myself, our staff, who are ex-professionals, current professionals, and not just soccer, but in every aspect of life. And so for them to be over there, we're able to take any level and provide that level. So if the kid is good enough to go to an academy, well, guess what? We have that. However, most likely, maybe not, and therefore we have the ability for these kids to train and play with other local German soccer clubs, right? And that's a whole nother great thing about this program is that's not easy to get, and we can do that. And so during that week, everyone is basically able to see, wow, I can do this, or my level is not what I thought, and I need to go home and work on this, and this, because this is what Frank and Justin mentioned from the coaches that I played in front of. So they can go back and consider it as an amazing week for their life, not only soccer, but culture, language, being in a different country. That's an amazing feeling by itself. Goes home, talks to the parents. We meet again and say, hey, listen, is this something that you see yourself doing for a whole year, 2 or 3 years, coming back to Germany and then engrossing in or becoming part of our, everyday life, which is what we prepare for these players while they're with us in Germany.
And this is a big jump for people. There's culture shock involved. There's distance. Maybe the parents are splitting up. Maybe the parents aren't even coming with the child at all when they decide to ultimately come to Germany. But you guys are committed to this thing long term. This is not, okay, you stay for a week and you do all this stuff, and then a club says, we want you, and then you guys say, okay, our job is done. You guys stay with these kids. If soccer is a real part of their future, you stay with them and help them through this process.
Perfect example, Ryan, with Victor Roelf. Had I known Frank back when Victor was over in Germany, because this is exactly what Victor got. He was actually over there for about 10, 12 days, which this can extend to that if that's what everyone wants, no problem. But unfortunately, when Victor was over there, the good news is he trained with the U18, Eintracht, Darmstadt, Kaiserslautern, and they all were very impressed with him. Now, he was too young to stay there himself. He had to go home. Had I known Frank and had we had this package already in place, we would have gotten Victor in a school, international school, where there's English and German. We would have put him up in an apartment. We would have taken care of him. We would have found him a club that he fits. We got him a player pass, and he's on his way. Now, we all know now Vic went back, and life happens, but the good thing is Victor's now playing in the eastern part of Germany for a Division 4, Division 5 team. And that's one aspect. Or you look on the presentation, and you see just one example of one of Frank's players who has done exactly what we're talking about. And you see the progress of him starting off as coming out for a week, going back home, talking to his parents, coming back for this German soccer experience, going to school, basically listening to Frank and what's needed on and off the pitch. And as you see him progressing, he's now playing for Frankfurt Düsseldorf. Fortuna Düsseldorf, excuse me. And but he started off at a level, and he's progressed, and now he's playing for Fortuna Düsseldorf, right? I mean, he's living the dream, but he's working hard at it. This is not for everybody. However, if you really truly have what it takes and want to give everything, we are going to give you every way to succeed. But it's really the player on and off the pitch that have to want that.
So for those who are listening and are saying, okay, I'm going to do this, I want to do this, is there a waiting period? Is there some lead time that you guys need to set everything up? Give us a little bit of the time frame for those who are listening and thinking that this is something they'd like to do.
What's nice about this is it seems complex, and it is, but it's also very simple. The first step is to contact us so we know who you are. We can talk to you and give you a little bit of better, more detailed information. But it's really as simple as two people, a mom and a son, or dad and son, or even the family, comes out for a week, and it's all, we're ready. We have everything set up for March all the way to December. So these weeks, anyone can come out, and we're prepared to place them where they need to be. There's also a chance for, throughout the year, that younger kids can come out and train with the Eintracht Frankfurt soccer school. Right, so that's a little different. It's in the program, but it's something where they're training every day with the Eintracht coaches, right? And but that's just a soccer school. So this can happen anytime. It just requires a family to say, let's do this. Let's go for a week. Let's test it. Let's try it. And then knowing that the whole idea is to understand if this kid's ready, what level, and if they can see themselves coming back, knowing that while they're there, they're getting the culture experience, they're seeing the school, they're meeting us more in person, they're seeing how, we walk the talk, we back up what we say, and knowing that their child is our number one priority. And so then going back home to America, talking about it, and then, finding that I want to do this year for this school. And so the nice thing about this school is we're able to bring kids. Now, we know that school starts in August here, and there's 2 semesters for the most part. So we're sensitive to that, where most kids in America probably will come out either before, the summer, or like, let's say June, July, to get ready for the start of school in Germany. But any kid can come at any part of the year, and we can enroll them in this international school. So it's, but going back home and talking to the family, it's one thing to say we want to do this for the year, not going already. So that's why that first week is really crucial for everyone, because it's also for us to decide if that's something that we feel, if this kid's ready or not for that. Because otherwise, when something like this goes, wrong or bad in any way, and it hasn't yet, but it's not fun for anybody. As you know, Ryan, I send German kids to America for school exchange, and it's the same thing. You have to let them know what the expectations are. They have to know when you come here, you're going to be something special. So are you ready for that? And America's different than Germany. So there's an interview process that happens to assure as much as we can beforehand that that step is exactly what they want to do.
And I think that's an important point to bring up, because people may think that along with purchasing what they're purchasing a golden ticket for their child to become a professional soccer player in Germany. That's not the case. And if after the German soccer experience you decide, okay, this is something I want to do, then you guys got to be critical, because you're not just letting anybody who decides it's for them go through with everything, because you guys got to take a more critical eye, because there are clubs that may not accept the child. There are schools that may not accept the child. So it's in no way a foregone conclusion that this will happen for these kids. It's just the German soccer experience is the gateway, and then if everything else checks out, then you guys will help them the rest of the way.
No, that's a good point. And one thing we can't forget is when these kids go over, and it's the same thing with Victor. We started him at a low level, right? Because he's an American over playing in Germany. So no respect. But then once he trained, wow, the coach came over to me and said he can play higher. So by him training the way he did, gave us the ability to move him to higher teams and higher leagues. He did that. Now we had the doors to open and we had the connections, but it was up to him to prove on the pitch by his play. And it's the same thing with these kids coming over. I mean, yes, we look for quality players, but ultimately we are going to put these kids in the level that they're good at or where they need to be. But what's nice, Ryan, is you'd be surprised when you change someone's environment how they adapt and just exceed all expectations. And that's what's nice about this program is, take that step, try it. One thing that I've been talking to Frank about is there's a lot of kids out there that want to play professional soccer and want to be professional whatever. Great. But isn't it awful knowing, for example, you have a Ferrari, you're driving down to Munich, but you want to go to Hamburg? You know what I mean? So you're never going to get there. So we truly want to take their expectations and guide them, make sure they're doing the right things in order to play at that level. And, when they're in Germany, this doesn't open the door just for Germany. We're talking about Europe. We're talking about other parts of the world. And I promise you, when our kids succeed in Germany, when they come back to the U.S., if they want to, then play in the MLS, their stock is going to be a lot higher had they never gone.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's a whole nother aspect to it.
So how do we sign up?
It's the same website we've always been talking about, jjrconsulting.net or jjrconsulting.de. Click on the services button, click on German soccer experience, and then you have the different packages that we've been talking about. Click on it, and then there's the whole presentation. The numbers are on there, the emails are on there. I got a German number, an American number, with nowadays email, also good. And it's basically then the process starts about the interview. Right? I mean, sure, we want anyone to go over there and enjoy the experience. We can do that. But we also know that to go further, we have to know more information about the kid and his or her why. And then the process starts, and it's really relatively simple and easy. And then where it goes from there is completely up to the player and how big or what level or whatever. Yeah.
Just blows my mind the stuff that you're coming up with, Justin, in that head of yours, but a really cool thing that you and Frank are offering, and people can log on to jjrconsulting.net to get started with their German soccer experience. So Frank, thank you so much for your time today, your insight into Bayern Munich, and hopefully we can talk again soon.
Yes, thank you.
Former Bayern Munich player Frank Gerster, along with Justin Rose of JJR Consulting, joining us here on The Other Football Show. We will take a break and have more in just a moment here on Extra Sports 1300. Extra Sports 1300.